Hi, this is Nemo. This is the common print run for War of the Spark, which is pretty much as basic of a common run as you can get. Just going over it, there's 5 artifacts. There's one land, which is Gateway Plaza, and then there's 19 cards of each color, and that comes out to 101 commons, with the short print card being an artifact, which hasn't happened in a while, but is historically what happens. It's kind of weird that they didn't do that for a while. And then there's no cycles in the commons at all, so there's actually a lot of space for weird things to, not weird things, it's just a lot of space for everything they need to fit into the commons because they don't have to fill in these cycles and things like that. As far as the print run goes, it's pretty much the basic thing that we're used to. There's the run A at the top, which is red, white, and blue cards. Then there's run B, which is black and green cards. And it fills out with either C1 or C2. And C1 and C2 contain all the strong cards and all the strong removal spells in there. So you usually see cards from the C run getting picked out first as far as commons go. And speaking of which, it's kind of difficult to use this common print run for anything useful just because the uncommons and rares are way, way stronger than the commons in the set. So if you, and sometimes if you just see a common missing from the very beginning of the pack, then you can just assume that's going to be one of these strong cards. But if the commons don't get picked until pick 4, it's hard to tell whether the person 3 seats to your left took it or 1 seat to your left took it, and that means they could have taken anything. So this common print run isn't going to be too useful for like how you draft or anything, but it's fun to look at. And for the sake of completion, I'm going to print it out and then have it uploaded. Um, let's see. So just go through everything. Run A is the white, blue, and red cards, and like I said, these are usually the weaker cards. They don't have anything super strong. There are some things that I like in here, like Spellkeeper Weird and Sky Theater Strix. I have such trouble saying that. No Escape is in here as well. And then the white and the red cards, not too much good stuff, unfortunately. Like, I like Invading Manticore and Raging Frunk, but it's nothing I'm going to take super early, which is exactly where you want to be for run A. But I like looking at it just to see what cards will usually go pretty late in the pack, and you can kind of see that blue has some pretty good stuff and red has some pretty good stuff, and then white dries up super quick. If you don't have a white card from C1 or C2, then you're not taking anything good, unfortunately. Going on to run B, basically the same thing, just for black and green instead. I unfortunately wasn't able to put together a print run um, for this one, but you can still look at it a little bit. So like there's Aid the Fallen, the Spark Reaper, and Tidebearer Giant, and Total the Invasion. And then green has some kind of key players like Crunch Wrangler and New Horizons in here. But again, nothing that's really, really necessary that you're going to take early. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not taking any of these cards early. Like Soren's Thirst is in here, and we thought that Soren's Thirst was a first pickable card at the start of the format. It turns out that it's not. So this is kind of why it's interesting to look at these, because it's usually the developers that put this together, and they know which cards are first pickable, and they put them in the C runs. C1, really, really, really strong. As you can see, lots of removal spells and really good things like Law Reinforcer and Wanderer Strike. There's Aven Eternal. Obnix's Cruelty is probably the best common set is in here, as well as Jaya's Greetings. There's actually a part in here where Obnix's Cruelty shows up right next to Jaya's Greetings, so you can get both of those in a pack, which is probably a hard decision. Could go either way, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm like leaning towards Obnix's Cruelty just because black is super strong. Um, and then also Bloom Hulk and Pollen Bright Druid and Centaur Nurturer are all great green cards are in here as well. I'm going to go through the little hacks where the cards show up next to each other a lot, even though it's not going to be super useful, as I said before. Lazotep Reaper shows up right next to Demolish on both sides, or on both appearances. So if you see it demolished, that means that the Lazotep Reaper probably got taken out or it's still in the pack. Bloom Hulk is next to Saheeli's Silverwing. Chandra's Pyrohelix is next to Guild Globe. That's actually probably one that's abusable. Obnix's Cruelty is kind of close to Totally Lost. It's not super close, but usually if you see a Totally Lost, it means that Obnix's Cruelty got taken out. Oh yeah, over here it's right next to each other. And then, what's the other one? Chandra's Pyrohelix and Wanderer Strike kind of close, and Pollen Bright Druid and Heartfire are right next to each other as well. And let's just go down to C2. Oh, as we can see, there's an Iron Bully in here, and there's also going to be an Iron Bully in C2. Shows that it's short printed. I put this one together. I'm not super confident on it, but it's consistent with everything that I've found. It might be a little bit different than this, but not too much. So this is still what you should use. It's really hard to get hacks on this because everything shows up 3 times instead of 2 times. So things aren't going to show up next to each other every single time. I did highlight some things that I did think were the strong cards in C2, like Divine Arrow, just Pegasus, Calus Missile was in here. Spark Harvest is really great. Herald is really great. Spellgorge are weird. Sleeper Hit, I guess. This has been super important, and this is, yeah, another example of look at C2, and you can usually find what the strong cards are. And then, like Arlen's Wolf, Bandtogether, and Giant Growth. I wasn't sure about Giant Growth because in this run, it's supposed to alternate strong, weak, and then Giant Growth shows up right next to Spark Harvest and Prismite, so I don't really know what that means. It's somewhere in the middle, and I think Giant Growth might actually just be weak in the set. I should probably unbold this. It's pretty much the whole thing. Like I said, it's not going to be super usable, but for the sake of completeness, I'm going to put this online. The description is going to have the link to the sheet if you want to look at it yourself or look at the packs. And thanks for watching.